If you received an offer for your business today, let's say $5 million cash, would you take it? Most business owners say yes, immediately. They see that number and they picture this big finish line. But before you sign that letter of intent, there's one critical question you must answer, and almost nobody does. And it isn't, what is the business worth? The most important question is this: will the cash I keep actually replace the lifestyle I'm living? Because in my experience, those two numbers are almost always dangerously far apart. Hi, I'm Kris Dureau with Green Private Wealth. Our mission is to help Canadians live the life they want by transforming financial complexity into a clear, actionable plan that creates peace of mind at every stage of life. We provide Canadians with single, understandable wealth plans that support long-term financial security, reduce taxes, optimizes retirement income, and enables confident decision-making through every stage of life. We help affluent Canadians grow their wealth faster, reduce their taxes, and build a long-term plan that supports the life they truly want, not the life they settle for. And the biggest difference between a business owner who sells and retires comfortably and one who sells and regrets it, it isn't the price, it's the pre-exit planning. So, today let's look at the math to make sure you land on the right side of the equation. Let's talk about what I call the gross versus net trap. To answer that number one question accurately, we first have to strip away the vanity metrics. When a buyer offers you $5 million, that's your gross enterprise value. It's a great number for a headline, but it's not what lands in your personal bank account. Here's how the money actually leaves your deal. First, lawyers, brokers, and accountants, they take their cut, usually 5 to 10%. Then you pay off your corporate debt. And finally, the big one, CRA steps in. If you aren't structured properly for the lifetime capital gains exemption, you could lose a massive portion to taxes. So that $5 million headline might ultimately look like $3 million in your pocket. And this is where the math gets scary for a lot of entrepreneurs. This is why the question, will this replace my lifestyle? It's so important. Right now, your business is likely an ATM, paying salaries, dividends, your car lease, your cell phone, and maybe even your travel expenses. Let's assume your lifestyle costs $200,000 per year after tax. When you sell, the ATM shuts off. Now you have a pile of cash, let's say $3 million net we just calculated, and that pile of cash has to turn into a paycheck for the rest of your life. If we invest that money conservatively in a diversified portfolio, a sustainable withdrawal rate is about 4%. 4% of $3 million is only $120,000 per year. Do you see the gap? You were living on $200,000, now your income's $120,000. Even though you sold for millions, you've effectively taken a 40% pay cut. You're rich on paper, but poor in practice. That's a very hard reality to face after the deal is now signed. So what's the solution? Reverse engineering. If the answer to that key question is no, if the sale price doesn't support your lifestyle, what do? You don't panic, you plan. You stop asking, what is the market willing to pay? And we start asking a very different question. What is my freedom number? We work backwards. If you need $200,000 per year to live, the math may say you need $5 million net in your pocket, which means you might need to sell the business for $7 million, not $5 million. Knowing this before you sell and go through everything changes everything. It changes how you negotiate. It changes how you structure your taxes to keep more of these proceeds. And sometimes it tells us to wait, to optimize the business and grow EBITDA for another 2 to 3 years until the math works out in our favor. Here's the bottom line. Your business is likely the most valuable asset you will ever own, and you only get to sell it once. You need to make sure the day you hand over the keys is the best financial day of your life, not the beginning of a budget crisis. And if you want to know exactly how to prepare your business to get that yes answer, I've created a resource called the Pre-Exit Flight Plan. It's a strategic timeline that maps out the specific moves you need to make 3 years out, 2 years out, and 1 year out to minimize tax and maximize what you keep. Click the link below to download it, run the numbers, answer the question for yourself. I'm Kris Dureau with Green Private Wealth. Let's build the life you want, not the one you settle for.